iPhone 9. You all want an update. You're all wondering about the iPhone 9. Okay, I got an update for you. It's better, but it's also not. Want tech news in a way that doesn't suck? Hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications, and you'll save a puppy. You like puppies, don't you? Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to Front Page Tech. Of course, show that gives you all latest tech news from one geek, that is me, to another, that is you. Happy Friday. We made it through the week. One full week of quarantine, you and me. We did it. Hopefully, you're staying safe. You're wiping your hands. You're wiping your butt. You're staying away. You're staying home. Those are the rules. Okay, let's do the news-packed show today. Just a bunch of Apple leaks. My brain hurts. I got a lot of information. And just open your anus. I'm going to dump it in. All right, so first up for the day, story numero uno. By the way, literally everything in today's show is just information from me. It's all leaks from me. It has been a crazy few weeks, and nearly everything that I've reported on and said was happening in March has been confirmed by Apple since then. From the March event being canceled and not happening, to the iPhone 9 being delayed and not being released this month, to the Apple stores closing down. I leaked that like less than 24 hours before it happened, to the very week that Apple was announcing multiple products. Obviously, that was this week. It has been absolutely insane, and I can't thank our sources enough. So now, how about an update for WWDC? We originally told you last week or the week before, I really can't remember at this point, that WWDC was not canceled, even though it looked like it was going to be. It was not canceled, and that Apple was going to modify it. Then, in an official press release, Apple announced that WWDC is happening in June, but it will be a live-streamed event. So, no 5,000 developers being invited to this event to meet face-to-face and mess with products, just an online streamed event. But what Apple didn't give you was a date. But I will. June 1st, Monday, June 1st, 2020 is the internal date that they have set over at Apple for WWDC 2020. That is the date for now. Of course, if things get dramatically worse in the US where the event is going to be held, then yeah, we could expect to see it moved. But right now, June 1st, that's a Monday. Again, that's the date. So we're just going to take this graphic right here and whoosh, there you go. There's the date. We put the date on it. There you go. You're welcome. Okay, that's WWDC. I'm not done, though. There's more. All right, so next up, you know how a couple days ago Apple gave us the iPad Pro, the brand new iPad Pro? Right here is the press release. Probably the coolest part is the keyboard with the trackpad that makes the thing float. That's really cool. But also, you know, time of flight sensor and A12Z processor. And a lot of you were actually disappointed by this refresh because it wasn't like refreshed enough, especially with that A12Z processor. But I did warn you under my tweet where I told you that new Apple products are coming this week. I did say nothing crazy. Now, if you were one of the people disappointed by this, like the specs weren't enough for you, there's more. There's more coming for you. I tweeted this yesterday, slapped a hot 5 rolls of toilet paper on it, which means it's coming from a source that talks to me that has been 100% reliable with his information. New 5G iPad Pro is coming towards the end of this year, that's 2020, assuming that there aren't any crazy delays. So it's literally going to be the exact same thing that we just got a couple days ago. Nothing is changing aside from the 5G and the processor. Coming inside of it's going to be an A14X. And yeah, I know that sounds weird because we just got the new ones, but the original plan was to have this 5G one launch alongside the ones that we just got a couple days ago, but the delays it didn't make it possible. It didn't happen. And this actually happened before. If I remember correctly, I think it was like the iPad 4 came out when LTE was introduced. That came out just like months after the last one. They did another similar thing with a MacBook, like they refreshed it like months later instead of a year later. So to be clear, this is not like an entire iPad Pro line refresh. That's not what's happening. Later in this year, it'll just be one iPad Pro 5G with the A14X chip inside of it to handle the 5G. Now, when I first said this on Twitter, a lot of people were like, I'm going to cancel my current iPad Pro order, or I'm going to wait until the 5G one comes out. People, listen, don't do that. Don't do stuff based on promises. The iPad Pro that was announced a couple days ago, that is available for you to buy. So go ahead and buy it. Don't not buy the thing that's available and wait for a thing that might be delayed down the road. If you really want an iPad Pro, go ahead, make your little nerd hearts happy and buy one right now, and then later on end of the year, when the 5G one comes out, just sell this one if you really want the 5G one. But I mean, it's just 5G, so who cares? Okay, sweet God. I'm not done yet. There's more. Let's jump into the iPhone 9 stuff, shall we? So this is one of those times where I got to remind you to follow me on Twitter, because if you did, you would have seen a tweet that I put out a couple nights ago. I posted that the iPhone 9 has officially gone into mass production. And then, of course, a lot of the media immediately ran with that tweet and started making their own assumptions, so I just want to give a bit of an update to clarify some things. So yes, the iPhone 9 did go into mass production as of a couple nights ago, but it doesn't mean that it's back on track. Back on track would have meant that we already got the announcement because it was scheduled to be released this month. If it's released this month, I will be crazy shocked. Literally all of my sources are saying, no, it's not coming. As you've heard me say before, production for the iPhone 9 is not the problem. They were actually in the final stages of product verification anyway, like before the BAP came in and disrupted everything. So unlike this, the iPhone 12, which as I've told you is most likely pushed back from September all the way to like October, November, that sort of area. The reason for the delay with the iPhone 12 is because the disruption from the BAP, this global crisis, happened very early on in the production of iPhone 12. The iPhone 9, however, was nearly ready to go, and Apple has now called in help, started to work with manufacturer BYD in China to help with the mass production on iPhone 9, since obviously supply chain stuff is stretched pretty thin right now. And if you've heard of the Chinese company BYD before, yes, they're a car manufacturer, but as I told you yesterday, they also sorta, kinda, secretly, not so secretly manufacture the iPod Touch. Now, I will tell you that logistically, the iPhone 9, the units will be done, mass production will be wrapped up, units will be ready to go and ready to ship within April. Like in April, they would be ready to ship. That's logistically though. So I want to clarify and remind you, production is not the issue. It's the global climate, the crisis right now. Effectively, no one gives a shit about phones. There will be no demand for this right now. The average customer, the average consumer that would want to buy this thing, the iPhone 9, just has other stuff to worry about right now. Number one, Apple stores aren't even open right now. They're closed indefinitely. And there are restrictions in a lot of the stores that you would look to buy this phone in. And number two, how about the fact that nobody has any money? The US is suspending evictions and foreclosures because nobody's working, nobody has the money. Literally just yesterday in California, there were 80,000 files for unemployment. 80,000 in one day. No one cares about iPhones and no one can buy them, $400 or not. The market is just too volatile right now. Apple does not want to risk it. It would be dumb to release a phone right now and irresponsible. I mean, just getting an iPad Pro and a MacBook Air and an update to the Mac Mini was sketchy enough. Releasing a model of the single most popular smartphone in the world would be a mistake. That's my opinion, and I'm sticking with it. I would say the same thing about literally any company right now. Things are getting better in China, though, and I will tell you that the high-ups over at Apple are optimistic about things improving globally, and they want to try to have this thing done and ready by June. I mean, for a second, it really wasn't looking good. It was starting to look like they were going to have to delay this into September, October range. But I'm being told that they need, that's the word they're using over at Apple, need to get this through, because one of the main pitches of the iPhone 9 is that it's $400 and has the current processor. If they wait too long, then that A13 in the iPhone 9 won't look as appealing next to the iPhone 12 later in the year. All right, so there you go. There's your update. Yes, iPhone 9 mass production has begun, but it's messy. There's no definitive release date yet. Just know that internally, Apple is optimistic and is shooting currently for a release around June. Okay, my brain hurts. I'm done. That's the show. Hopefully you liked it. You learned something. If you did, hit the like button. If you hate my stupid face, the dislike button works too. Everybody stay safe. Have a good weekend. Stay inside. I'll see you guys on Monday.